And it's funny, I
Mm-hmm.
brought this up to Ewok before. I don't know about you, Axis. I'll just ask you this too. Like, it's almost like because we've all been talking so long about like, well, 2024, that's when the real bull market's going to start. That literally, like, the calendar will turn, and everybody's patience will just, not that it already isn't running out, but that the patience just goes totally out the window. It's like, all right, here we go. Okay, it's 2024. Like, let's go up now. What do you think? I mean, because this quarter, and this is going to lead into the bigger overall question we're asking, but this quarter, I mean, how much bullishness do you think? We can just start with kind of BTC and ETH because that's where we were going to go here. But what do you think we're looking at for BTC and ETH if you want to bring your stuff up here over the course of this quarter? And I think people have to continue to be patient because, like you said, we just saw, I mean, we got up over 46K. Jim Cramer is, hey, this thing's not going away. Bitcoin's not going away. I don't know when people are going to learn that, as if he was saying that at 16K. So yeah, if that isn't a signal that we're probably due for a pullback, I don't know what is. But what do you make of where we're at right now? And just over the course of this quarter, and then I'll let you go where you want to go with it over the rest of this year, and then this entire bull cycle for Bitcoin and the larger cryptocurrency market.
Okay. So yeah, I was just doing this here live. I took this start of 2020 January here, and then I just put it right where we're at now, the start of 2024, 4 years later. And wouldn't that be so picture perfect if it ran up to like 54, 55,000, and then we saw that retest of 30,000 level. Now, one of these guys that I follow on YouTube, you guys might have heard of this guy, Steve Courtney from Crypto Crew University. He always talks about his technical analysis of how Bitcoin does these. It's like a you build the staircase basically. So there's like a initial explosive wave out of the lows, and then there's a secondary wave but in order for that secondary wave to come into play, you have to come back and retest the base. So this would be like in 2015, they came back, retested the base, built up the stairs again, came back, retested that again, and then it built up for that parabolic run. And I think like what you could see is like something like that again, where we did it here earlier in the year. We created that base, and then we had phase one of the bull going into phase two now, and then we just need to come back and test that structure down there at 30K. And I think the big question in everyone's mind is it going to be one of those situations with the ETF coming, if it gets approved? Is it a sell the news event, yes or no? Do we go up higher first and then retest, or do we just go roll over quickly from like the 48K is my level that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I think 48K is common. We have it here on this breakout of this pennant going to like a daily here. You can see it was a pretty much picture perfect triangular structure here. Something like this. And then so bullish continuation, consolidation, and then another leg up would put you around that 48, 50K level. So that's your Q1, and then that might be it. Now, Bitcoin might tap out after that for a little bit and need to do a cool off period for the rest of the year. And why do I say that is because when I look into Bitcoin dominance here, let's see, I think I was looking at it on a weekly most recently, and I saw this like shooting star on this weekly time frame. And when I'm doing my analysis, like the longer the time horizon, so like the weeklies and monthlies have a lot more weight on these candlestick patterns than like say like an hourly. Also, context matters a ton. So like the context here is that Bitcoin dominance at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times bottom pattern here, and then ripped up 39%, and that was like its big year where Bitcoin really took the lead against an ever growing altcoin market, right? That's gonna always be an underpinning in the future. Is like there's always going to be more altcoins that can do more matter gains with lesser liquidity, right? Forever. And so how can Bitcoin expect to not continue to fall, right, in dominance going into the future? And so that we're all looking for that in the altcoin market, and we got it here in this shooting star candlestick pattern here on the 11th or the 4th. I'm sorry, the week of the 4th. And then so ever since then, it closed lower than this high here in October, and I think it's just the beginning of the start of the move for altcoins. And the final comment here is when you look at ETH and BTC on this like super long time frame, it builds out this giga pattern. It's a giga pennant pattern is what I call it, and it's it goes back so far, and but it holds a lot of weight. And so this is what I'm seeing is like it's do or die time for ETH. You know, this is going back to 2016, believe it or not, right at the turn of the year there. Support, support, support. Got close here for 4 times support, and now we're coming back into test after not being back down here for almost 4 years.
Wow.
And so it's right on cue where BTC dominance is falling. It's having its last gasp for air. Price might run to 50K, and then some of that money might start to rotate into altcoins. That's kind of what I'm looking at.
That's what we're hoping for, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like you were saying, that 48K area as far as possibly a top here in this quarter. What are your expectations as far as? I mean, I don't think any of us care too deeply about a Bitcoin ETF, but I mean, you know, the market obviously has been that's all everybody talks about. So, I mean, are you also of the opinion that will probably be? You just outlined the 2 scenarios there. Do you lean more toward the like pretty much quick sell off in the days after it's announced, because that's what just felt like the right thing to me. You know, and do you think it does retest 30K? Do you think it really does go down that far? Because I was thinking maybe 35, 30K. It would just be interesting, you know, to go that far down. But if that's where support is, then that's where it is. So what do you think will happen there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. Makes sense to me that the ETF gets approved, and then that's the excuse for the sell off. Like that makes sense to me. And I'm just looking at it structurally. So like anywhere, see this breakout candle here that came back and retested. So 34.4 would be the height of that candle.
Yeah. Okay.
That level might be it with like but remember when I say retest 30, it could literally be like an hour long wick down there, quick, a punch through and then back up. And it's, so in terms of looking backward, it wouldn't have mattered really. But yeah, no, I think like this is the range to look for here in the mid to low 30s. Something like in here is a retest of this level would be totally normal for Bitcoin.
Wouldn't also a denial be another good reason for a sell-off? I mean, I think you get the best of both worlds, right? If it's approved, you get to sell the news. If it's denied, I think people are bearish. What are your thoughts? I think it has the same effect almost.
I kind of do too.
Sure. I mean, so no matter how you cut it, BTC should come down soon to come back and retest some of these levels. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that sounds like it makes a lot of sense.